We're cool.
Yep.
Lachlan Olbrich, thank you for joining us on the Foundation podcast today.
No worries.
You are one of Australia's basketball's brightest young stars at the moment. You have just declared yourself eligible for the NBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much born into the sport,
Mm-hmm.
grown up heavily involved through your parents.
Yep.
18 years from signing up for your first club, you have declared you're eligible for NBA draft. Just talk me through, like, when you hear that statement, how does that make you feel?
It's just like, kind of thinking about myself declaring for the draft, or like the possibility of, achieving my dream like that I've had since I was like, really like 5, since I started thinking. But it's kind of like gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Even though I'm like, I've been living in it and I've been like wanting to do it. So kind of gives me chills a little bit, but it's kind of cool to just see my development over the years and kind of look back on it. Like a lot of people don't really look back and really appreciate like the work they've put in, or like the times that they've had that have, made them get where they got. So
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, man, so like I remember being in a pram, like going to my mum and dad's like social basketball games.
Yeah.
And then they would have like 6 people on their team, and whoever the one sub was had to look after me in the pram. So I've really been in basketball my whole life, and it's just cool to really have the opportunity to make a living of it.
Yeah, I don't know. What did social basketball look like for you back then as a kid compared to what it may look like for someone now as a kid?
Well, I think just seeing how much enjoyment, my parents, and like their teammates and family friends, like just enjoying it is kind of like, basketball, it really brings joy to like everyone. So, regardless of, money, opportunity, like, where it takes you, I think just like, I'm just so grateful that I still enjoy it, and it doesn't seem like a chore to me working out, like, to get better. Like, it's just something I really enjoy.
100%. I feel like that could happen quite easily with any professional athlete. Like, you're putting 9 times out of 10, you fall into the sport that you love growing up as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And then from, like, say, from the moment you can understand, I can make this happen and make a living out of it, you go all in.
Yep.
Like, how does that affect mentally?
I mean, I think you see it with a few people is they get into, like a harsher environment. Like they might hit like a semi-pro environment like NBL 1, or make it, I don't know, anywhere really, where it gets a bit tougher and it's a lot more monotonous, and, you can see people start to burn out. But I think that's just never really happened to me. But you definitely see it with a few people, and you see them like almost like fall out of love with the game, and kind of you see people just stop their careers short and, go find something else, because I don't know, basketball is pretty tough to make a living off to where you can provide for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you're essentially, so I didn't know this coming into the season, but you guys pretty much can play all year round by jumping around club to club.
Yeah.
So you're essentially, like, at the end of each season looking for that next payday.
Yep. Yeah, always looking for that next contract. And, basketball's cool because it is all year round. We play, I did 7 months with the Hawks, 7-8 months with the Hawks, from preseason starting in August to finishing last month.
Champions.
Champions. But yeah, like, it's cool because, I mean, I'm not doing anything like this season playing wise. Like, I'm just prepping, going to the States, like, for the draft and stuff like that. So, but you see my teammates, they've gone New Zealand League, like Tyler and Trey have gone to China. I think Darius is in Germany right now.
Oh, wow.
So it's
all over the world.
Yeah, like Sam went to Japan last year. So it's like you can play wherever you can get an opportunity, it can take you to wherever you want in the world, because there's always basketball being played. So I think that's a really cool thing about basketball.
100%.
You can really almost have a holiday as well.
Yeah, of course, because, like, especially if you're going to, say, country, like, somewhere in Europe, like, you, on your days off, you could catch a flight and be
Yeah.
Spain or be anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's really cool. I found that out probably halfway through last season. So in learning that, I was like, wow.
Mm.
So how does that work? So if you're contracted, like have a 3-year contract
Mm.
with the Hawks, how does that work in the off season?
Yeah. So I'm on a 3-year right now, but let's say like I wasn't going to draft. I was, just gonna go find somewhere else to play.
Yeah, what would you be doing now?
I was in the New Zealand NBL last season, which I would definitely consider running back. And
Hey, you weren't in it. You killed it down there, bro.
It was-
you clean sweep that.
it was a good league to play in. I was happy with what I achieved in that league, and I was also happy with just how it kind of propelled me into the next NBL season as well. Like, it's a great league to prove that you can do a bit more, and I was going up against like my peers. Like Sam Froling was on like a different team in the New Zealand league.
How does that like work when you come up against like your, I won't say actual teammate, but your core teammate
Yeah,
up against a whole new different team? Like,
it's
it's
really cool, man. Like even the Hawks were posting about it. Like when we had our first clash, which was in Christchurch, like Sam was coming to Canterbury to play me. Hawks doing a little face to face,
there's like
little
you're
image.
versing like a childhood mate on the weekend or something like that.
And it's just like, oh, you throw your little trash talkers around
Yeah.
just because you know each other so well.
Yeah.
So you're just friends, like friendly banter, but it's good because that's like really good competition, obviously, because, but us knowing how each other play it also made it a bit harder. So
Yeah. Who won that match?
I did. Yeah.
The MVP.
Well, yeah, we did, but yeah. No. But back onto like how it works is like the NBL, like the Hawks, if you're getting paid over a certain threshold of money, they can like kind of tell you not to play
Okay, to protect you.
to
Obviously.
protect you from injury and all that. So
If you're getting paid enough to be able to
yeah,
have
definitely.
a break and
But usually, like that'll only be if you had like a few injuries that were
You're injury
prevalent
prone.
during the season. Like if you're an injury prone player, then you're less likely to let go. But
Yeah.
if you have a good relationship with your club and you just ask, hey man, like I'm trying to play over here, I'm trying to play in Europe, trying to play in Japan, like I'll be here before the next season, preseason, like it won't conflict with anything. They'll be like, yeah, go ahead.
that's
Like,
really good.
yeah. So the clubs, I mean, they want you to be happy. It's in their
Yeah,
best
100%.
interest for you to be happy. So they really look after you.
No, that's really good. Although you're 21,
Mm,
you've overcome a few setbacks,
mm,
like missing state team selections,
mm.
or even moving across the world to go play in California at college level.
Yeah.
Even like thriving under pressure in championship series, like Game 5, you had like big boots to fill, and you filled them very, very well.
Mm.
Or should I say, what is behind that constant success?
Yeah, like I feel like enjoyment's a big one. Just like constantly wanting to get better and enjoying getting better is a big part of it. But like, I mean, the final series, like for one, like that game 5, I was nervous. Like I hadn't really felt nervous like for game 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Like even the semifinals, like the elimination game and the semifinal, I was like, it just felt like another game of basketball. But
Okay.
I think with just like the pressure building up to that game
And
5,
maybe because you knew like that was the game, like there wasn't another one after.
yeah, you knew that's it, and it's win or go home. And especially with Sam being out with the Achilles, like I know I had to step up and kind of like, well, just fill some boots. So like Sam obviously wasn't able to fill because he wasn't playing, but I felt some nerves. But I think nerves are very healthy, and
100%.
I think honestly they keep you on your game. So
Yeah, I think if you don't have nerves to a certain extent, like you're not 110% invested.
yeah,
Like I've never met anyone who's been like, regardless if it's sport, business, or anything, I'm not nervous at all.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then when someone does say that, they're talking shit because you can just see it on them. And I think,
100%.
like you said, that is very healthy.
It can be like you know, like if someone goes in with that attitude, like they're not nervous at all, someone's like, oh, a bit lackluster, like, do they really care about it or
Yeah,
stuff
exactly
like that?
right.
So,
And then 9 times out of 10, if they do have that attitude, it has the opposite effect on their performance, and they're probably gonna undermine the opposition
yep,
and think, oh, it's gonna be a breeze, whatever, and then reality, it's not.
yep. I think some people get nervous a bit, like in a way that's negative to their performance. And I think that's where you kind of like I mean, you don't want to be like that. Like I think for my first season at the Hawks, like the first time I was like the bright lights, you know, like first home game against Sydney, like I first check into the game, I'm like legs like they don't want to move, like my legs are like a deer in headlights almost. It's kind of like I don't know, your body's in shock. It's kind of like, but I feel like just myself, I've grown a lot in like basketball like maturity,
Yep.
and like mental maturity in the game, and I don't get flustered by that anymore. But I think that game 5, the nerves they were good, but I felt like I was still able to perform.
Yeah, well, you did. You performed very well.
Mm.
That was probably one of the. Not saying the rest of the season you didn't play well, because you did, but that was probably one of the best performances I've seen you. I saw you play all season.
Yeah.
Talk us through your youth career and through high school. What did that look like? Trying to pursue basketball. Did you always know like you wanted to make it pro, or was that something that came a little later on in life?
Yeah. I mean, high school, like through my district club, like I played Southern Tigers. Majority of my career, like had one or two seasons at Sturt, but majority was at Southern Tigers, and I was in, you know, Div 1, Div 2. I was so as a first year Div 2 for like year under 12s, under 14s, and then from then I was Div 1 for 16s, 18s first year, 18s second year, and during that period of time, like doing like high school and all that, like I didn't really like, it was always a dream, like go college and get drafted NBA, make a career out of it. But I don't know, I think it kind of clicked for me when I kind of like went to the AIS and started getting that college interest. I think that's when it finally like clicked to me that it's like, all right, it's getting like that like dream is becoming more of a reality. Like it's like actually a possibility. And that's just made me hungrier, you know? It's like,
you just got a little bit of taste of that
yeah,
success, and you're like,
so you just
I want more of it. Let's go.
Yeah. But
Nice.
I think like another thing that kind of, I don't know, like kind of helped my development was like, you know, there's state programs and like every state, but I didn't make a state team, like the actual team, until like under 18s in my second year. So I was trying out under 12s, under 14s,
every year,
under 16. I tried out every year, and
shit.
The 16s second year, 18s first year, I made reserve for the team. So I was so close to being on the team, like as an injury replacement if someone got injured.
That's the worst as well, because like most of those players would have been your mates.
Yeah.
So you want to be happy for them, but then it's like, shit, like all it takes is someone to get injured, then I'm there.
Yeah, 100%. But it was just like you got so close to it, but not there. But a lot of people that were in that position, like as a reserve, like we had like 3 or so reserves per team, like that was on. Like they kind of like they got there, didn't get picked. They're like, okay, I'm done with that. Like they don't rock up to the trainings, like they're done. Like my parents like helped me a lot with this. But obviously not all of it like I wanted to, but like I went to every single training in the lead up and was there, and I don't know, it's part of like not making the team. Obviously it gives you that pushback, and it's like, all right, I need to get better. I'm making it next time. So I think that was healthy for my development. And not making it, and then finally making it in the 18s, and then boom, COVID hits. So it was actually like a really, you know, anticlimactic. Like
100. That would have been very tough mentally.
Doesn't go ahead. But it was okay at that point because like I was reached out to about like the Center of Excellence in Canberra, so I kind of knew I was going to Canberra for a year. To do my year 12 and live and train at the AIS.
So you did year 12 and trained at AIS?
In
Canberra,
Canberra.
nice.
So that was an experience, and it kind of set me up for what like a college lifestyle would be.
Yeah, what was that like whole experience and day-to-day life like there?
Honestly, like pretty similar, like to what it was in college. It's kind of
Okay.
like you got your trainings. Like it was a big training schedule actually.
So they
Like
pretty much give you a taste of what that's going to be like if you pursue it, so you're ready.
yeah, I think the only thing different to college at the AAS was the actual amount of games we played.
Okay.
Like, because on the back end of COVID, not many games were being played, just for like health and safety reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
But we were kind of in our own bubble with the AAS and just training. But we'd do a scrimmage like every Saturday, like Saturday scrimmage, and then have the Sunday off. And we'd have little buses that like take us to school and pick us up on the way back.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, it was chill. It was like a chill. It was a good gateway into what college life was like because very similar.
Yeah, and then after that you went back to Southern Tigers, correctly?
Yeah. So I had
And you earned an All-Star 5 honor in that
yeah.
season
So
as well.
I left the AAS and signed as a DP that didn't get paid for the Sixers
Mhm.
for the 36ers and
That was my next question. I wasn't leaving them out.
yeah. So during that period, I wanted to play basketball because as a DP, you're not getting much of a run. So
Yeah, and I think like training with first team is great,
mm,
but you're not going to be developing unless you're playing games.
yeah. So like a big part of your development, you can do all the skills workouts you want. You can have the best 5 minute
Yeah.
how many threes you make in 5 minutes time ever, but you want something that's like puts a bit of like pressure on you.
Yeah,
and a game
100%.
environment puts pressure on you, and just to be able to use new moves you've worked on, or actually like attack with like a purpose of like winning a game.
Yeah, exactly. And especially like practice is all good, but like you said, there's nobody defending you.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys going out on the court pre-game,
Mm.
right? And we're watching you. Like you guys, you're throwing it down. You got
Mhm.
Lee hitting threes for fun.
Mhm.
Like everything's going in.
Yep.
And then the game comes, and then like shots are missed, this and that. Like that all comes down to the like situation that you guys are in.
Yeah.
Like, and
100%.
you can't replicate that unless you're playing.
Yeah. I think a statistic to like a shooting workout, like a 1-on-0 shooting workout, I think they say that whatever percentage you shoot in a shooting workout, you half that, and that's what your like game percentage like would be like, theoretically.
Yeah. Okay.
And that kind of does tee up with,
Roughly.
what I've done in the past roughly, and
Yeah.
it definitely does with like the shooters, like the best shooters in the world. So
Okay.
that's cool I thought it was just a cool statistic, but
Yeah, it is. Let's dive into your time in California
Okay.
at college.
Yep.
I thought this was quite interesting because when I was younger, I was going to go to college in America, but like from year 9.
Yep.
Like go to high school, then do
Okay,
college.
yeah. Like
And I
prep
had it lined up. Even met the host family that was going to host me, whatnot.
Cool.
And I was come to the time to organize it with my school.
Mm.
Like you can go, but if you decide to come back, you're going to have to start from year 9.
Ugh.
And at that time, I hated school.
Yep.
So I was like, there's no way I'm going to put the pin on it, and never went.
Mm. Were you doing that just to go study? Like
Study and sports.
what sport?
Soccer.
Soccer.
The new soccer was over there. I was always sort of like on the fringe, but I never had pushed myself
Yep.
for it. So I thought if I was in a different environment that could
Mm.
like just throw myself in the deep end and go. Pretty much that seems to be my style, throw myself in the deep end and just fucking learn.
Honestly, like that sink or swim kind of like mentality is like
Yeah, I think
you're either gonna do really well or you're gonna crash out and maybe not do as well.
and I think majority of the people who have made something of their life
Mm.
are sink or swim people.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, you gotta
So yeah, talk us through like what was it like in college and the difference, especially between the NCAA division and NBL 1.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the college level, like as a whole, in my conference, so I was in the Big West Conference, which is changed now, but it was basically just going all over California, like the LA schools, like UCs and stuff like that, plus Hawaii.
Oh.
So it was a really like nice conference to go travel around. Like you get into some nice areas like Irvine and Hawaii was an amazing trip for me. Good memories from there. But it's a good level of basketball, and I think it's different because you got younger guys, they're more athletic. It's a bit faster pace. And then NBL 1, you got like some older guys, but they're smarter. They know how to use their bodies a bit better. Like they've been around the game.
Kobe and Todd.
Yeah, a little bit for sure.
They've been tearing up in the NBL 1. I've been keeping tabs on them.
Man, yeah. I think they're both on the MVP ladder for NBL 1 East, but yeah, I think I'd say the overall level was like NCAA was better than NBL 1.
Yep. What about the NBL?
NBL's better level than NCAA. I think that you take any team, well, I wouldn't say any team, but you take our Hawks team, I think we're beating any NCAA team.
Okay. What about NBA teams? You reckon you can pull one over them?
Well, that's like the interesting thing. Like basketball's such a...
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Depends on the game.
Whoever rocks up on the night, plays their basketball, someone can catch fire. Like the 36ers went and played Phoenix Suns, 2-3 years ago, and they beat them in Phoenix. So, and that was like a full team with D-Book, like...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you never know what can happen, but, you know, I kind of can level like my NCAA against NBL 1 because at Riverside where I was, we actually had an international trip to Australia where we came and played 3 NBL 1 teams.
Okay.
And...
Did you win all 3?
We won convincingly all 3. So I forget who exactly we played, but I know Gold Coast Rollers, NBL 1 North. I think we played Knox, or I don't know, some other yellow team, NBL 1 South. And then there was we actually played Illawarra at the back end of it, the Hawks. So
okay.
But that was the NBL team. So we actually played them and won. But that's actually how I kind of got recruited, or like how they really like knew me or wanted me from the Hawks in the first place, which is it's kind of like a full circle moment. But,
okay, that's cool.
But no, it was I'd take NCAA over NBL 1, but definitely I'm taking NBL over NCAA.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's really cool. And then signing for the Hawks last year, it was?
So 2 years ago now, I think.
23.
Yeah.
Yep.
So straight out of college, left, didn't finish like the term of school, I think, and then just
basketball. Get me on the court.
Basketball was over. I'm like, I kind of knew I didn't want to go like stay in college. Like, I want to really like. At the time, I was just thinking NBA. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? Giddy just got drafted. You got like other guys that are getting major interest. Like all the eyes are in on the NBL right now from NBA. So I'm like, if I'm gonna make it, like I'm go here now and just pray for the best. Like good opportunity, play my best basketball, get drafted.
Yeah.
And basketball is not like a linear like thing. Like so, I didn't have the best season. Like I did good. Like I turned some heads at some points in the season, but overall, I didn't get enough out of it. But I thought that would be the best opportunity for me to get drafted.
Did you go by yourself
to
college, like to America?
Yeah. So that's another part. Like I kind of did feel a bit homesick.
Yeah. But I think that as well, like going back to you saying how you feel you've matured quite quickly. I think throwing yourself in that deep end, going to a completely different country.
Yep.
Even though it's an English-speaking country, the whole culture is different.
Yep.
You don't know anybody there. Like you have to quickly grow up.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been such a great learning experience for you.
Yeah, definitely. And like if I did it again, I would be like I'd find it a lot easier.
Oh, of course.
Like I think that's like definitely helped me mature. Like I was obviously in Canberra by myself. But going to the States, like that's a lot further away.
14-hour flight.
Exactly. So
it's a different time zone.
Yeah. So that was a bit hard at first, but and probably was like a reason for me also coming home and signing like NBL as well, initially. But um, but yeah, I don't know. Basketball, it's a funny thing. Like, it can take you to the States. It can take you back here.
Yeah.
Like, you can pick if you really want where to go. So
Yeah. Let's move on to foundations of your success.
okay.
So, 21, but you've had so much success.
Yeah.
At the back end of your first year with the Hawks, you went down and played in the New Zealand NBL.
Yeah.
Talk us through that, because only recently have I discovered that it's equivalent to NBL 1. Is it? Or
It's equivalent to NBL, but in New Zealand.
okay.
So
But then
you're flying around, like you're flying from the top part of Taranaki to the lowest you go is Southland. And,
is NZ Breakers in it?
No. So it's like,
Okay, that's why I thought.
you know how it's like Australia, like the NBL, like you got Adelaide, Cairns, like it's your major cities in Australia. Same as
NZ
New Zealand.
Okay.
So Auckland, Christchurch, like they've all got teams.
Yeah, right.
You fly around. So it's the same setup as the NBL, or very similar.
Yep.
Whereas like their NBL 1 would be like in Christchurch, they have, teams or
okay.
so yeah.
Within that. Okay, so
local, more local.
yeah. And down there you swept the accolades.
Yeah, so I didn't really know what I was getting into when I first signed there.
Yeah.
Like I was on the phone with my agent. He said he connected me with a GM and a head coach, and I had my first phone call with Judd Flavel. He's actually the Tall Blacks head coach now, but he was the head coach of Canterbury, who I ended up signing with. But the first conversation I had with him, it was promising. Like he was just like, he seemed like a genuine guy.
Yeah.
Like none of what he was saying sounded like BS to me. Like it just sounded like, okay, he really wants me. I'll be a big part of this team. And so like I kind of knew what I was getting into.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I got over there and we trained, like my first couple of trainings over there, I think Judd was just like kind of like almost like surprised. Like he's like, damn, so I didn't know I was gonna get like this from you. Like I've seen like what you've done in the NBL, and I didn't know you could do all this. So I think I kind of changed what my role was gonna be from like the moment I touched down, and they kind of got a glimpse of what I could do.
Okay, cool. So do you have a bit more of a free role down there?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the league's not as good as the NBL, so there's less like leashes on players. Like there's more like freedom, more freedom to go show a bit more of what you can do. Yep. And I think that was really good for my confidence. And, I had some really good games. Like I had few bad games, but majority like really good games. And, I was never expecting to come out of it being like the MVP of the league, or, the youngest MVP in the league, or like second in defensive player of the year voting, and all-star 5, like most outstanding forward, like
pretty much everything.
A lot, yeah.
Everything you could have gotten an award for.
So I think my mum took my trophies home, and it was like
she would have needed an extra suitcase.
It was
bro.
Like, it was like 10, 12 kilos on carry-on. It's like, how do we get this through? But yeah, I was never expecting to get all that. I just kind of
went in with an open mind.
Put in
the work and play.
I got to give a lot of credit to Judd, and because the system they had over there was a lot of skill development as well as like all the team trainings, and it was a great structure he kind of built around me as well, for like my play style.
Yeah.
So I got to give a lot of credit to Judd.
Helps when you have a team built around you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like I think that's just another team. Like I find that the off-court part of the team in Canterbury was very similar to what it's been at Hawks.
Okay.
And I think the off-court side of a team is really important to team success. And, at Canterbury, we're all hanging out. Like, we're all, just, we're friends.
Yeah.
We're friends. We're kicking it, chilling, getting food with each other. Yeah. Same with the Hawks. We get along. We celebrate each other's success, like, on the bench. Like, everyone wants everyone to eat. Like, everyone wants everyone to win. Yeah. So, winning at Canterbury, being part of that culture, I felt like I could bring a bit of that more even to Hawks. And I think it translates, man. Like, I really do think that how you get along with your teammates and
100%, bro.
yeah.
110%.
And like, I guess it's like, what am I now? Like for championships, like I won the NBL one. We first NBL season didn't win, but we got semis, so we're close. So won NZ, won this NBL season. So like I'm 3 for 4 on like championships right now, and I think it's all from like
Man, it's
really
hot.
good off court culture.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big factor in like winning.
100%, because like if you do have those environments where it isn't like a good team culture, you'll have people showing up late to training, not putting in 100%,
Yeah, yeah.
and little shit like that, and then that ticks off other people, and then it just turns into a fucking.
That's a good point. Yeah, you got to have a certain level of respect for your teammates,
course.
and rocking up late and doing that is not respecting the team or your
100%.
teammates.
And
So
like that's exactly the same like within our business as well. Like one of the most important things for me is to have a great working environment so people want to come into the office.
yeah, yeah,
Want to stay back and do a little bit extra work because they're comfortable there and they're just happy being in the office.
yeah.
But you can definitely see it translates onto the court, especially with the Hawk side. Like throughout the season, I don't think there was a part where one person from the bench wasn't celebrating when everybody was celebrating. Like if one person was celebrating, that whole bench was up and jumping.
Yeah.
Like and that personally seeing that, it's just like that's fucking sick. What you guys have built is really good and something to look up to.
Yeah, I think of like one exact moment where that kind of shines is like when we played New Zealand Breakers at home, and it was like the first game we wore our heritage uniforms, so the teal blue like numbers and stuff like that. It's like this is how I'm like in like remembering in my brain, but we're up against New Zealand like by like a significant amount, and some of the DPs like get in. So you got like Luca Yates coming in. You got
I remember that. That was high energy.
I forget who else,
man.
but I think he goes in and he checks in and he shoots a 3. As it leaves his hand, everyone on the bench is like standing up, like getting hype, and then it goes in and it just like the whole place erupts. But I think honestly, like it erupted from our bench to start. Like the anticipation from our bench just like is going in, it's going in.
Almost like gone silent.
Yeah, and then so we've actually got a mural of that like printed out on our hallway as you go into our change room now of like the benches celebrations, like everyone's got their hands up with the threes, like
Big Joe showed us that.
Yeah,
what a great manager he is.
Big Joe's great. He's like he'd have to be like one of the hardest working team managers in the NBL or like in like leagues all over the world.
He was playing golf and doing spreadsheets like 2 days after the final. Like, bro, just play your golf, have 3 hours
just
to
like
enjoy
chill
yourself
out a little bit. But
he loves it. He enjoys it.
He loves it. He does. But he's doing a lot more behind the scenes work than
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So he's juggling more than just a team manager role. So he's we love Joe, so he's hopefully sticks around for years to come.
He's been there for over 20 years. I'm sure he'll be there another few.
100%.
I sent you a few questions before this and asked you if you had any routines or anything. You said you're not a routine guy, but quite the opposite.
Yeah.
So you like to change up your workups and game day routines quite regularly.
Yeah.
Talk us through why you don't follow the route like a routine.
Yeah.
And how does that benefit you?
Okay. So I say I'm not really like sticking to a routine, but I do some things like on a game day, I'll make sure I eat a lot. Like I eat a lot of food on game day, and that's just my way of like how I feel, like energy, like feel like I can jump through the roof.
Talk us through like your game day feed from you wake up to like you walk in the stadium.
Honestly, so it changes what it is, but
of course you got to keep changing it up.
The quantity is a lot. Like I feel like I get like 2 main meals.
Do you hit like a certain macros or do you just?
I'm not into like the calorie count or anything like that. I just go for it. Like so we have a team, usual game day will be like a team shoot around at 9 or 10 a.m. Then after that, I'll hit a cafe, like 2 main meals, like done and dusted. I'll go home, like have a nap. And then,
Yeah, of course, you've had 2 main meals.
yeah, so I'll food coma it up. I'll wake up from my nap, eat more. Like whatever I got in my fridge, I'll cook out steak and rice. I'll like get some, I don't know, like anything. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And then I'll head off to the game. And that's kind of when like the routine, like that's usually pretty like standard for me.
Okay.
But then when I get to the game, it's like, it's actually a running joke with the performance staff at Hawks because they never know what I'm going to do on the game day. They're like, you want to like, do you want to like a jam sandwich? Like
they're like trying to prepare
not
for
today,
you.
not today.
They're
like,
trying to prepare for you and they're like, fuck, yeah, let me prepare.
He's like, the physio asked me, do you want to get on the table? I'm like, oh, no, I'm okay. I'll do it myself today. Or, you know, one day I'll be doing band work. One day I'll be, you know, doing random balance stuff. Like, honestly, it's like how my body feels on the day is very, like my knees can be on like a feeling average or whatever. Like
You just listen to your body.
Yeah, I listen to my body, try and do that. But from outside looking in, they'd be like, oh, what's he going to do today?
This
like,
looks crazy.
So confusing. Like, because in basketball, a lot of people are very like superstitious or like stick to their routines thoroughly. If they mess anything up, they feel out of whack but no, I think honestly being flexible enough to be able to perform doing whatever. Like I feel like that's probably a positive thing to do.
100%.
What if you get chucked in a away stadium where you know you can't do something a part of your regular routine? It's like you're gonna have to like improvise. Like you have to overcome that. So
what's the most superstitious like routine
for me
someone has done that you've played with?
Oh, most superstitious thing that someone's done that I've played with. Like, can it be like the coach?
Can be anyone in the I don't want you to name anyone.
Yeah.
But just like whatever, like the craziest.
I won't do the coach. Because that's naming. But I don't know. Like you see guys that wear like the same socks from like a game that they played well in or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, have they washed it? You don't know. Like you don't know. You hope so, but how superstitious are they? So
yeah, exactly.
Nah, nothing too crazy. Yeah, I'll probably just say like that, like same underwear or same socks. So.
All right. You also mentioned that winding down and recovery plays a huge role in how well you can perform, not only on the court but off the court as well. You also said that you believe as long as you're putting in the work into the right things, that you're going to see improvement or you're going to get better at the craft in hand. Can you go a little bit deeper on that and just what are those right things that you would be touching on?
So, for recovery first or?
Yeah, we'll go with the recovery and winding down first.
Yeah. So, I mean, crucial, like recovery is so important. Like, let's say you're like on a percentage system and like you play a game, you start at 100. After the game, you might be at 40 or 50. You wake up, you're at 70 like the next morning. And it's like, if you never get back up to 100, then it's just gonna keep declining. So I feel like you get in the ice bath, you do contrast therapy, you get a massage, like these little things, like even just sleeping like the right amount of hours, like to help your body recover.
How much sleep do you get?
Super important. Well, I aim for 8 hours at least. So whatever 8, but obviously you can't hit that every time. But, you know, I try my hardest to get in bed and unwind so I'll be able to put myself in a position to get 8 hours. But that's like, there's like huge studies on sleep, like being so important for everything, for like, whether it's like bodybuilding or, you know, waking up energized or anything.
I think just for mentally, like in your cognitive function, it's
everything.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah, so there's that. But I think like going back to just like doing the ice bath or soft tissue or like I like cryotherapy. Like I got a cryotherapy place in Adelaide I go to. It is kind of like it resets you. It puts you back at your 100% marks. And the next day when you go work out or play a game, you're ready to leave it all out on the floor again. So you don't have a hold back. And doing that could be the difference between you pushing into the last quarter or you kind of feeling flat in the last quarter.
Yeah, 100%. And when you are winding down, like say stepping away from basketball,
Mm.
trying to just enjoy life
Yep.
like a normal person would, do you find that difficult?
I think a lot of my life is basketball. Like if I'm not playing, I will be watching. I
So
will
can
be.
you, I'll rephrase that. So can you wind down with basketball as well? Like, does that
Yeah,
allow you to
yeah.
let out? All
I'm
right, that's good.
comfortable enough with basketball
That's
to
good.
where, I'll usually after the games, like I'll head home and I'll chuck the replay of the game on and
Yeah,
I'll watch it back, what we did well as a team, what I did bad, like what I can improve on, like and stuff like that. And
but then you're not really winding down because you're
oh,
still thinking.
it's thinking,
Do you
but
know? Do you know
it's
what I'm?
like I'm laid down, I'm in bed, like I'm
Yeah,
I'm
you're
I'm
relaxed.
chilled out,
Yeah.
but I don't know, like I'm a bit of a like I don't know, like I want to while it's fresh in my head, while I'm thinking about the game, I want to kind of go over
Mhm.
everything, and that's just how I am. But
Yeah, of course.
like obviously, sometimes I go to sleep and I'll do it in the morning or
Mm.
something. But I can wind down if I need to, like just chuck a movie on in the background, and I don't know.
Watch some basketball highlights.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a regular guy, so like I
Yeah,
just sleep,
just sleep.
just sleep, get some food in me, go to sleep.
Nice. You've also said you've been getting an extra couple like lifting sessions in
Yeah, yeah.
during the week. How's that been incorporating that into your professional schedule? And then what benefits as well have you been seeing from that?
I mean, what we do in the gym, like in our S&C as a team, it's going to be good for basketball. It's going to be good for like performance. Getting you athletic, durable, like injury prevention and stuff like that. So some of the workouts don't really touch on, you know, one mainly being like aesthetics or um, I just I like to do a feel good lift. Like I like to do a lift where you just pump up the biceps, the shoulders, like
Yeah,
the chest, and
it just makes you feel good.
yeah,
Fuck yeah, let's
you
go.
feel good. Like it's good for your mental.
Yeah,
Like, but like I don't know. You feel if you look good, you feel good, you play good. Like
yeah,
I feel like if you're like if you're happy with where you are in your body, and a lot of basketballs are because they're athletes, they're fit, they're whatever. But I feel like it kind of just goes into like if you walk rocked up onto court and you're feeling like not really that good about yourself,
yeah.
it's kind of like you might be a bit timid, or it could affect your mental performance. Like I think so.
100%. Yeah,
I feel like just getting a couple lifts in here and there, just for the biceps, or I call it the beach workout, where
beach
you just do
workout.
your
Nice,
curls and all that. But
nice.
no, it's
Give
good.
yourself a wink in the mirror.
Yeah, a couple weeks now. But yeah, going back onto what you said about like I like to I think working out obviously is a crucial part to development,
Mm.
but you want to make sure you're working out the right things. And I've got trainers that are really, really good at like, dialing in on like I'm a big man, but
You as well.
behind the scenes, I do everything. Okay. And that
Mm.
might not translate to my game I'm playing, like the role I play in a team. My role, I could be just a screen setter, a roller, like stuff like that. Whereas in these workouts, I'm going like tween, like hezzy, like step back, like
Mm.
working on all these different moves. Um, some might say that's not working on the right things, but it overall helps you like
Yeah,
you improve it better. Like that stuff helps your footwork, and all that. But whereas like in a basketball training with like the Hawks or with the team you're playing on, you're gonna work on the stuff you're gonna be doing,
Mm.
which is like more important than that stuff.
yeah, and that goes
So
back to the system
yeah, so you
as
need a
well.
fine line of doing both, but majority of what you do, if you're only going to be shooting spot up corner threes in a game, like that's your role, like to go stand in a corner and shoot the open three when you get it, then you should be practicing uh standing in that open like corner and just shooting it with confidence, and keeping your form right the same every time. You shouldn't be working on, step back threes and
Yeah,
you know I don't know, unrealistic stuff to what your role or expectations are from your team. So I think just working on the stuff that you're going to do in a game is really important as well.
100%. Um, 2024, you got selected to represent Australia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
How was that experience? That was in the Asian Cup qualifiers as well.
Yep.
How was that experience for you
That was
and your family actually as well? Because that would have been huge for mum and dad.
it was unreal. Yeah, like that's also been a big dream of mine, like being able to call myself a boomer on the Olympic team or anything, and get my first opportunity for green and gold in basketball, full stop.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. And for it to be going to like South Korea and Bangkok, like international, like I've never been to Korea, like that was an experience in itself. But just, I don't know, you learn, like it was a bunch of mature, like professional guys, and you get to learn a bit about the boomers culture, you know, what's happened in the past. But it was an experience, and like I felt like I kind of just grabbed it and did pretty well in those games against Thailand and Korea, and the family was like super proud. Like I don't know, mum, like obviously in tears, like when she found out. You know, my uncle actually surprised me and flew up to Bangkok.
Oh wow,
and saw me at that game.
that's awesome.
I didn't see him until I got called out in our running. We're lining up for the national anthem. I looked down to my right, sitting down courtside is my uncle. And I'm like, can you imagine the shock in my face when I just look to the right and I see my uncle just sitting there? I'm like, what? Like, what the heck? Like, I can't even go hug you right now. Like, I'm
I want to thank you for coming, but I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, so that was like, that was unreal. But my family, like, I've always loved my family, big family guys. So that it meant a lot to them, and you know, I got a lot of people that are really proud of me.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that'd make it like obviously it's rewarding for yourself, but like making those people you love and care about proud.
Yep.
That would just make it a whole lot more rewarding.
100%.
Now with a bit more of a fun question, would you trade your championship rings you currently hold for a shot at a starting lineup in the NBA?
Would I trade the rings I've
and your national call up?
And would I trade it for a shot in the NBA?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think so. Like, I don't like. Obviously, NBA is like what you want, but I feel like the stuff you achieve, like, and you work for, like, you can't let go of it. Like 100%. For other stuff, like I feel like that's what kind of builds you up to get an opportunity, like that. So, like, I mean, funny question, but but like, nah, like I want to earn NBA, you know,
100%, yeah.
And I don't want anything, like nothing's been given to me in my entire life, so it's not going to change. So I'm just going to keep working, and you know, realistically, I'm not going to be a starter on an NBA team for at least a couple of years. Like, it's just something you're going to have to get in, work towards it, really prove yourself again. So,
and then so when you do go to the NBA, whether it be this draft or in future years, how does that off season work? Would you continue playing at a different club, or would you just stay at that club and you have your off season, have a bit of a break, holiday? Have you thought about that yet?
I mean,
probably not.
A little bit, like here and there, but NBA is different. Like, there's so many different contracts you can have in the NBA, where it's like Exhibit 10, a two-way or fully contracted, and then there's like implications for like a two-way. You can be like, a team can sign you on a two-way deal and then ship you back, and you can play in NBL while they still have your rights.
Oh,
so they can call you up whenever they want you.
That's what we call them for then, because I want to see you back next year.
Yeah,
but I really want to see you make the NBA as well.
Yeah, but so like there's a lot of different like type of contracts, which this is like the part I'm not good at. Like, I don't know much about, and looking to learn a bit more about it as I go through the process. But
so I didn't know. Yeah, there was different types of contracts. Like you're contracted.
Yeah, like players. I don't know, like, you know, Luke Travers maybe. Like, no, so he was playing for Melbourne United like last season, like 23-24, not this past season. He's been signed with the Cavs, like Cleveland. So he's on a two-way with the Cavaliers, but he was playing for Melbourne United. And then now that the season's done, he's gone over there and has been playing on the G League affiliate team for the Cavs. But he's had like games where he's been called up and he's gone on the actual like.
Yeah, well, if you're in and around it, there's always that opportunity of
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a few good weeks back to back, and you're making headlines, like
Yep.
and the first team's not going well, then
They
the
might
coach
wanna
starts
make
to play
changes.
around with stuff. Oh, we'll give the young kids a go, stuff like that. So
Yep.
you definitely need to be in and around it to get that
100%.
opportunity for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, a lot of basketball is opportunity. And honestly, to be frank, like you got to be lucky, like to get put in the right opportunity to like get the call up. You know, someone might just be like,
Yeah,
oh,
you got to be lucky, but you also like the amount of work you put in. I can only imagine would have been fucking crazy.
yeah.
So like obviously the luck helps,
Mm-hmm.
and you majority of the time need a bit of luck on your side to get that success.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not putting in the work, that luck's not going to come. And 9 times out of 10, the more work you put in, the more luck comes your way.
Yeah,
So-
100%. And a lot of that work is behind the scenes that no one really knows
Exactly
about.
right.
Like, and that's how it should be. I think actually like I seen like a funny video of like Damian Lillard, like he plays for the Bucks currently, NBA.
Mhm.
But back in the day when he was on Portland, like everyone would be posting their workout videos online or whatever, and someone's like saying, "Where's your workout video?" Like Damian Lillard or whatever, something like that, and he clapped back and made like a video of him playing like pool noodles with basketball, like doing like all this stuff
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. But he was just basically saying that like the work he does is like he doesn't record it, he just does it,
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Like I think it's if you're at a point where you're trying to grow,
Mm.
I think recording it takes away from your growth.
Yep.
Like the time you spend on recording, editing, because obviously you're young, you're not going to be able to afford a videographer, editor, whatnot. The time you spend setting, even if you're just doing it off your iPhone
Mm-hmm.
and editing it off your iPhone, like that's an extra 3, 4, could be up to 10 hours a week you could be putting in on the court or in the gym.
Yeah.
And then that's going to give you the advantage of the guy who's sitting down editing.
I mean, 100%.
Whereas then 2 years' time, you're in the NBA and you have a videographer following you around, then you do that stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, that is a huge thing. Like, and I think that also affects athletes and just people mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they see someone who's achieved so much and they post like their workout or their morning routine and it's unrealistic as fuck.
Yep.
And then people are like, shit, should I be doing this? Should I implement that? What I'm doing, is that wrong? Stuff like that. Does that ever go through your mind?
I mean, you gotta, whatever you see on social media sometimes, you gotta take with a grain of salt, like, because you can morph like whatever your routine, like if it's like, oh, my morning routine as a professional athlete, if I was to do a post, I can pick what I want to show.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to like, like
you can do anything.
you can do it for your personal interest. Like you can like put in like, let's say like a brand, like you want to like showcase and be like, oh, make sure you use this supplement in the morning, and then you can have profits. Like you can have like a part in this brand and profit from it. So
yeah, exactly.
you can't. I don't really look into what other people are doing. More is just focus on what I'm doing myself. So
yeah, good.
I think that's the best way you can do it.
Nice. And just to finish up, any advice or motivation you'd like to give out to any young athletes, whether it's in basketball or sporting in general? Like, what should they be doing? And if they do have times where they do feel unmotivated, like I'm sure you would have, being not selected so many years for state teams, how did you break through that, get back up, go again?
I think like setbacks like that, you gotta let it like light a fire under you in a way. I like this phrase where it's like you gotta be so good that they can't pick you. So it's like,
that's a nice quote.
If you keep working on yourself, if you just keep getting better, like progressively, just more and more and more, then it's gonna show. And like whatever work you put in, it's gonna show. It might not be straight away,
It's
but
just a matter of time.
stacking days, stacking weeks, stacking months, stacking years. Like, there's another thing where it's like 10,000 hours to perfect something. It's like,
Yeah, which is
you're going to
like
have
you
to,
break that down, it's nothing.
yeah. And yeah, but that goes back to make sure you're doing the right things, you know, make sure you're eating good, make sure you're sleeping good, recovery well. Like, all of this adds up to you being like perfecting your craft, and
Yeah.
you're never going to be perfect. So I think just enjoy it, work out, keep getting better. If you keep getting better, everyone will notice, and that's where you should go.
Nice. Well, Lachlan Olbrich, thank you very much for being the second guest on the Foundation podcast.
Appreciate it.
It's been absolutely a pleasure, and all the best for your NBA draft, and hope to see you selected.
Cool. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate.
All right. Number 2 wrapped.
Done. That's all good.
Yeah, bro. How'd you